Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of Ordinary Extraordinary. I'm your host, Karen O'Sullivan, and today I have the wonderful Jennifer Walsh here with me today. And Jennifer is a life alchemist. So, Jennifer, you're very welcome to this week's episode.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
And
having me.
thank you. It's an honor. So, Jennifer, for people who don't know actually what a life alchemist is, how would you like to explain that to them?
Yeah, sure, because I know it's kind of one of those things that people wouldn't be familiar with, but it's sort of this thing that I've brought together because I have been a mental health advocate for over 20 years, and I also have a bunch of trauma training. And when I started in practice, I started to see that it isn't just about one modality, it isn't just about one piece of something. And
Mhm.
so I pull from all kinds of different disciplines in order to help serve my clients and work with people because everybody's experiences, people when they think about trauma and things like that, they think of an event. And trauma is not an event. Trauma is something that happens inside a person.
Okay,
And the way
sure.
that gets sorted is really any way that works in a resonant way for the person. So there isn't one right way or one perfect way to do anything.
Sure.
So I kind of use all different disciplines and all different kinds of studies and thought processes to kind of help people get to what's going on in here.
Okay, that's really powerful, actually. Yeah. So what I'm hearing there as well is like one size doesn't necessarily fit everyone, isn't it? Like, and I suppose having the
Yeah.
tools that you can work with and everything as well.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, like being honest, when I hear trauma as well, like I'll immediately, sort of go down the rabbit hole with that as well. But it's a nice way to view it actually as well. And I suppose isn't it finding more so instead of treating the leaves, it's like getting onto the root of it as well, isn't it?
100%. And there always is a root. And again, people, will say, I've heard this more often even lately, I don't have trauma. And I'm like, well, generally everybody has some kind of trauma. And the thing is, people have a hard time when their life experience is chronically difficult. You cannot pinpoint one event that happened that started it. It's usually the life experience of a long period, and that makes it a lot harder for them to come to. So the whole idea is to get to what's going on so that we can transmute it, which is why I call it alchemy, because it really is a transmutation.
Transmutation, yeah. I actually love the wording actually, 'cause, like I mean, I literally have never really heard of it being viewed as life alchemist,
Mhm.
which beautiful way of summarizing it. And thanks so much. And Jennifer, what brought you on the journey to become a life alchemist actually?
So I have four children, and two of them have special needs. And
Okay,
there's been a lot of difficult experiences, primarily for them, but then, of course, for us as a family.
sure.
And I was meeting a lot of families who were just in the mix in such a struggle all of the time. And fortunately, I had spent a lot of time doing a lot of research and also helping a lot of crisis families through a program called Safe Families, where I took in crisis kids.
Okay.
And I started to see where I could make a difference for the families who weren't finding the resourcing, who were struggling with what they were being told. And so as that moved forward, I ended up we ended up on a journey anyway here to Ireland in 2020, but that didn't pan out. We had to go back. And then it was my own kind of thing where I was struggling very deeply.
Of
And
course, yeah.
so I just stumbled on Compassionate Inquiry by Dr. Gabor Maté, and I took the professional training.
Okay,
And
amazing.
yeah, it was really powerful and a really wonderful process. I highly recommend it. And yeah, it was just one of those things where I needed something to move myself more forward. And then as soon as I finished that program, when I started working with people, I saw the power of using that modality in tandem with others for people.
That's really incredible, like the journey of it and all that. And it's like, in a way, going through the most challenging times in life, to then develop the skill sets that will, help us, and even through helping yourself, you're able to help others as well. Like it's really, really nice way to view it. And even the works of Gabor Maté as well. Like yeah, I definitely follow some of the practices now. I haven't done actually any of the courses, but just reading up on some of the lessons, if you will, and the learnings is incredible. Yeah, so
It
amazing.
is, and I think the most powerful part of it, to be honest, for me was in the training, the fact of having to sit um,
Mm,
amongst a bunch of other people,
sure.
and where we're kind of deep diving into things that are quite triggering, but being held in a space is
Yeah,
very important. And I think
absolutely.
that the container that gets created is really important. And whenever there's safety and whenever there's being heard, a lot of things come out. It's a miraculous kind of process.
It's powerful, definitely, is what I'm hearing. And like the thing is, a lot of us really do want to be heard and want to be understood and stuff. And whereas sometimes in society lately, we've the 24/7 sort of, go, go, go approach, isn't it? Instant gratification where people, maybe there's superficial levels, but are people having the deeper, the real presence and conversation, and that's huge, having the timing and giving people time, which is, it's huge in this day and age as well. So to have that safe place and everything, it's huge.
It is, and
Definitely.
it's really kind of interesting because just exactly to your point, this go, 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 this whole thing, a lot of it
Mm.
is dissociative, a lot of it is distraction. But the fact of the matter is, it's funny because when I work with people, I'm fairly quiet, and it brings something different when people have to kind of sit and they're like, but I don't know. And I was like, it's okay not to know,
Yeah.
right? And it's all about the kind of somatic, what's going on. And a lot of people
Sure.
aren't in touch. They're not in touch with what's going on in their body because they haven't been able to be.
Sure, exactly.
It's purposeful, you know.
It's powerful. And I don't know if you're familiar with kinesiology, actually.
I am.
Yeah, okay, very good. Would you believe it? My first experience ever of kinesiology actually was, I'm going to say about, yeah, 3 months actually. Now we're going back 3 months ago. A friend of mine actually does a lot of different healings and kinesiology. So we decided to, gift each other with, kind of a nice transaction in that sense. So I said, okay. I'm going to try kinesiology. So I had no idea what to expect with it. And actually, we recorded a podcast after the kinesiology, if you wish to watch that, or if anybody does, if
Yeah,
they haven't yet.
absolutely.
But yeah, shout out to Wirla. But yeah, it was like literally I was so relaxed, so zen, and it was about the body. So the people aren't like familiar with kinesiology. It's our body will know what's needed, be it vitamins came up for me at the time and other things. And she was able to tell me my body was holding on to particular trauma for like years. And I was like, okay, keep going with it. And she's like, no, 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 your body knows it's had enough for this session now. And she was right. It's just the powerfulness of it. And yeah, our bodies know again, like, even from the physical side, from the trauma, but outside of that, isn't it as well? So it's powerful.
Yeah, no, it is. And the thing is, like you're saying, kinesiology, acupuncture,
Mm,
craniosacral therapy,
sure.
yoga, breath work. There's a
Yeah.
million different types of modalities. And I really highly recommend people start to subject themselves a little bit to different kinds of disciplines just to see. Because
Exactly.
not one, like we said, not one thing will work for everyone. But when you find the practices that bring you into yourself,
Mm,
there's no one right way.
absolutely.
Whatever resonates, it really is powerful for people. Psychedelic led therapy
Mm,
is really powerful for some people. And, you know, um, we're always stuck up here. We're
yeah.
all kind of stuck
Oh,
here,
yeah. Fully in
and
the
the
brain.
mind
Yeah.
is powerful, right? It's
Yeah.
great, but it makes meaning of things. But you can't actually know how you feel about something if you're trying to think your way through it.
Sure. Logical. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of my clients, they will say, I feel that I should have done. I'm like, no, you think you should have done.
That's so
That has
powerful.
nothing to do
Mind
with how
blowing.
you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Literally. And that
Yeah.
sounds actually like myself as well. If I'm kind of thinking back on stuff, it's probably the worst. Think back on things to get a lesson and then to move forward with it. But there's times where I'll think back and go, oh, if I took this particular path, da da da, and oh, I should be at this point, and I'm like, no, 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 we're meant to be right where we are. And it's like we have, various parts of a jigsaw. We don't necessarily have all the pieces right at the beginning, but we make the best decision from where we're at that time before we have the learnings, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, so many of us are so closed
Yeah.
to
Mm.
kind of a lot of what's going on, and we're missing signs and we're missing all kinds of things because we're
Yeah.
just not open to them.
Yeah, we don't even see what's right in front of us at times because we're so, as you say, like caught up in the mind, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. And it's really a process of slowing down.
yeah,
And most people, if well, a lot of people,
Yeah.
if you say to them you need to slow down, they're like,
No,
nope,
having none of it.
nope,
Don't want to hear
nope,
it.
having none. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the funny thing about being here is Ireland already is a much slower place than, like, say, the U.S. is.
Sure,
Um,
yeah.
but I still see it here, how so much is driven by, I don't want to think about this, I don't want to feel this,
Yeah.
and it just runs the
Distractions.
show. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
distractions, and sometimes things can be constructive, but then of course people might, and the wording I suppose I like to approach it with is like a counterfeit comforter, if you will. People sort of attach to something else, which then can result in secondary issues and things as well, and things will
Yeah,
eventually catch up, isn't it? So it's
it is. Well, and again, it's protective,
yeah,
right? The
sure,
problem is we're not able to be with whatever it is because usually it's overwhelming,
yeah,
right? But the thing to understand is, right, nobody's asking you to confront the whole problem head on right now, but we need to start chipping away at the pieces that are driving this behavior because something is driving it.
yeah. It's true, isn't it? There's something always there, somebody in the driver's seat operating the controls and all that.
Absolutely,
Although
absolutely.
I guess there's now driverless cars. That's besides the point. But anyway, the way things are going. But
Handing things over, right?
exactly, it's true. And for people who weren't aware, Jennifer is originally from the States, isn't it?
I am. I'm from Chicago, actually, born and raised.
Excellent. The Windy City, I'm told. I haven't been to that part, but I've been to the States a lot. I do love it. I guess it is a bit of a fast pace, but sometimes there's bits of it that are pretty relaxed too, I think, depending. But a lot of it
It
is,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think big cities tend to be
sure.
more that way, the urban areas.
Absolutely.
But the pull for me here is
Yeah.
really, it's in that slower.
Mm,
Ever since having done all of this work, I really feel the need to kind of almost go backwards a little bit, you know.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It's powerful, isn't it? Because I mean, I was even thinking back on times there, and I said, you know what, things were a bit simpler before. Like as you said, like less rushed. And I mean, this is great. I mean, we're here virtually today, which is amazing, right? But to have technology and it is fantastic. I mean, we're connected globally and everything else. But and somebody said it to me, and I'm 100% I'm guilty of it at times. It's like like three or four of us could be in the same room, and we're all either scrolling on the phone, on the tablets, on laptops, whatever the case is. So it's like we're so connected to people outside, in the world, virtually and whatever. But are we disconnected from, what's right in front of us in the room, or, things like that as well?
right. And I think that's somewhat protective and purposeful as well, because to
Mm,
be honest with you, there's an overwhelming amount of information now.
sure,
And
huge.
also the globalization, again, it's good in some senses and it's bad in some senses,
Yes,
because back in the day, right, we didn't necessarily know what was going on at every moment, every other place. And the
absolutely.
problem is, you want to be aware. Obviously, you want to have some kind of uh, thought process about taking care of life in general and people in general.
Mm,
But the fact of the matter is, we can't generally solve problems across the world, but
absolutely.
we can solve problems in our own neighborhoods, in our own
Yeah.
communities. And the more of that, that's like a ripple effect, right? That's like the
Yes,
butterfly
I
effect.
love that. And that's something I believe as well. I think like if we set out a pebble into a river and as you say, like that ripple effect, I mean, some positive impact. It's kind of in a way like pay it forward. I mean, if
Yeah,
isn't it like it's huge? I mean, just smile at somebody, say hi or whatever, have a conversation with somebody in a queue. It could be the only person that person actually converses with that day.
100%.
Isn't it? We don't realize the
Absolutely.
impact.
Oh, it's huge. It's
Absolutely.
huge.
We
And
all,
even for me, the same thing, coming here, the amount of kindness I found is quite profound, to be honest with you.
it's huge, isn't it?
So it is, yeah.
And I think we'll see it as well. Like if we're really, aware of things and we're really present, and we're looking for instance, we're looking for the flowers, we'll see the flowers. If we're not aware of the flowers, we may not see those. We might see the weeds. But it's again how we're viewing things, isn't it? If we're tuned in and all.
It is. And I think, one of the things I like to talk to people about is, as we grow, right?
Mm,
And this isn't just about age. As we gain wisdom and discernment, which has everything to do with becoming a really embodied person,
sure.
right? It's the idea that it isn't black and white. Things are never black and white. There is
Absolutely.
this whole complex middle. And if we can stay in complexity, if we can have two or more things be true, that just leads us to be the type of person who's able to hold a lot more and be available for people and treat people with kindness and understanding and, move with and work with people rather than against them.
I love it. It's powerful, isn't it? And actually, you know the way you were talking about various different modalities out there and people trying different things. Like for instance, I've tried acupuncture, acupressure. I think that's incredible for me anyway. Maybe I should get more of that done again. Actually, as I'm thinking about this now, that could be the sign. But what practices do you find are beneficial for yourself in general? Actually, what works for you?
Oh my gosh, actually, so many.
Okay, this is
And
great.
I've kind of come in and out of a lot of them, and only because it's obviously time constraints, all of those
Sure.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
But for myself, I'm a big journaler. Like I need to spend some time writing all the time. Stream of consciousness writing, which for the people who
Hmm.
don't know what that is,
Okay.
basically
Yeah.
when you
Please
get up
do.
in the morning, you just start writing. You don't filter it. You don't correct it. You just kind of spend 5-10 minutes just writing everything that's present for you in the moment, because what it does is it empties it out and it kind of puts it on the paper, and it allows you a little bit of distance from it, because so many people deal with rumination, so many people deal with all those kinds of things, and we can get really spun up. So if we start a process of kind of emptying out everything onto a piece of paper where it's out of our head, being able to look at it, it lets you move forward with your day a little bit differently.
Okay. Yeah. I love that.
So that is one thing that I do regularly.
Yeah.
I do spend time meditating. Mine is actually not a sitting meditation generally. Mine's a walking meditation. I
Oh, I
prefer
love it.
walking meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
brilliant.
keeps me more present and grounded.
Hmm.
And then I definitely spend time in nature as much as possible. The beach
Love
and the
it.
woods for me are the two places that are just, yeah,
Sounds like my places. Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, powerful. But then really for me, I would say sound healing is big.
Oh yeah, it's powerful.
So yeah, sound healing helps me a lot. Acupuncture,
Hmm.
craniosacral therapy,
Like
um, those are kinds of things that I've delved into that really, uh, yeah, kind of move me forward and keep me grounded as well.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that as well. And I'm just like when I'm kind of thinking about that, what I tend to do as well is it's kind of like a mindful walk, if you will, in nature. So it's kind of maybe similar, I don't know, about like the meditation, like moving meditation. I love that approach. And you're just connecting with everything that's around you and just being totally present as well, isn't it? It's just amazing like
Oh,
that.
100%.
Like
Yeah,
just
presence is the
powerful.
big thing. Being in the moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. And definitely about grounding, as you say. And there was one guy before, and I'm trying to think of what his name is. I believe it's Austin. Powerful. And he said, like, with meditation or with, grounding, even sort of more so than meditation, he said, people feel okay, you need to have the feet on the ground, on the sand, on the grass, whatever the case is. He said, it's not necessarily that. He said, you could literally do your grounding practice if you were like, way up high in the sky in a plane, if you really, you're visualizing the route connecting, he said that's, you don't necessarily need to be there, but still it's powerful when you're connecting, isn't it? But
It is,
it's
but the
just,
energetic process is important. And again, a lot of
yeah,
people will kind of say, energy work, but the fact of the matter is,
yeah,
everything is energy, right? We
absolutely.
know this. Everything is
Huge, yeah,
energy, and
100%.
you meet people and you actually feel their energy before you even
Yes.
completely interact with them.
So true, isn't it? It's like, I
Yeah,
mean, if you're looking at us, we all look sort of solid, isn't it? But if you view us under a microscope, electron microscope, what you'll see at a cellular level is, it's not solid. There's a lot of different things moving around. So, yeah,
yeah,
it's true, isn't it?
absolutely.
And what is
Yeah,
energy? Like a science quote here, but energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be
correct.
changed from one form to the other. I mean, that's
A
so
hundred
true.
percent. A
And
hundred
we're
percent.
energy, so yeah.
Yeah.
And there was actually a lot of research done at one stage that I found quite interesting myself, and it was, about affirmations and everything else, where there was two glasses with water in it, right, just standard water, and somebody was telling one of the waters, oh, you're this, you're the other, all this sort of negative stuff being put on it, and then they were doing positive affirmations on the other water glass, and they were able to view both under the microscope, and from that they could see the difference. So, and again,
One
we're
hundred percent.
we are made up of water, and somebody said to me one stage, they said we're like, I believe it's cucumbers with emotions or something. Quite interesting, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love those experiments
you
because they
know,
really do illustrate very powerfully, just like you said, the water crystallization and how that forms.
mm,
They did a similar thing back, well, I think it was the early 70s with
yeah,
plants.
cool. Okay,
And,
cool.
it's profound. the difference between ones who are spoken well to ones who are not. And again, it's the
Absolutely.
same for us, but we don't kind of take that on generally.
No.
And I do think that there's a really, it's something to be grounded. It's also something to be grounded and connected. And I think
Yes.
not enough people talk about the both,
Yes, let's
because
expand.
both are important. So, yeah, yeah. So look, um, the more present I got with myself, the more I spent time understanding what was going on inside of me and stuff. And now, look, I've always had things happen to me since I was a child,
Sure.
like the clairaudience, so hearing, and
But yeah.
clairsentience, the knowing, and all of that stuff. But the more I sunk into myself and was present with myself, the more I started to see that I had kind of been a little bit disconnected from. And
Hmm.
I kept getting sort of what I'll call downloads, like download after download
Yeah.
about certain things. And then I started to see a lot of synchronicity. So during a really, really difficult time, it was actually after I finished the compassionate inquiry.
Hmm.
Um, well, it was before I finished it, but it was in the midst of it. And then the
Yeah, sure.
process happened after. But I remember I was driving my son to work in the States before I'd come over again. And I was just driving, and it just happened that a blue heron flew over my
Oh,
car.
okay,
And it
that's
was in an
powerful.
area that there's not water. So I was kind of like,
Hmm.
why is this here? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I suddenly got sort of a download that was, uh, you need to take a vacation.
Wow,
And
okay.
I was like, okay, vacation. And then like numbers started coming to me, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. And I was like,
Hmm. Yeah,
and I
this
was
is
like trying to land on a number, and the number that came up was 6 weeks.
okay.
And I kind of sat there for a minute, because it was one of those things that was completely unexpected, completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, sure.
And I've never taken a 2 week trip, never mind a 6 week trip.
That sounds a
And I
bit
was
huge, like, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like, 6 weeks. And, granted, my kids are a bit grown now, but still, it was this thing of like, okay. And I was like, okay, so 6 weeks. And then I was led to pick between a couple different places. And where I landed was France, was Paris.
Okay, gorgeous,
And
yeah.
so I took my son and myself, and we spent 6 weeks in Paris living like locals. And I had determined by this time, after everything had happened, that I was going to be very present with myself, that I was going to take and view this
Hmm.
trip as a gift for myself, and I was going to be in it. I wasn't going to dissociate through it. And honestly, it's the best trip I've ever taken in my life. And so many things came of it. I had some downloads in Sacre Coeur. I needed a verification on it, because I was told I was to go back to the States and paint. Now,
Okay,
grant
wow.
you, I've done art my whole life.
This is
I've never
incredible.
painted. Yeah, I've never painted. So I was kind of like, painting.
Yeah.
Like,
Where did this
okay,
come from? Yeah.
this is weird. And I was kind of like, the thing I do usually is I go, guys, this is a bit out of, something for me. I can't just be with this. So I need you to give me a sign. Like, if you
Sure.
really want me to go back and paint, then you need to kind of
Yeah.
solidify this outside of here, and give me something. And I don't mean, let's go to the art museum and I see something, I said
Yeah,
something really
exactly.
random. So
Something
what happened
concrete.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, concrete, exactly. So my son and I had gone to this pub that we sometimes went to. Um, and when I got to the pub, we sat and had something, and there were two men sitting at the bar who were definitely regulars, because you could just see the energy of all of that.
Sure.
And they started talking to us. And the one ended up talking to us for about, oh my gosh, 2.5 hours, just
Wow.
bar stool to
Yeah.
table. Like, it was kind of random. And I got this like kind of nagging, ask him what he does. And I was like, but we're not at a point in the conversation that this
Yeah.
is even relevant. And they're like, ask him, ask him, ask him. So I said, okay. So I said, oh, by the way, I said, what do you do? He's like, I'm a painter. And I was like,
Whoa.
okay,
Yeah, I could hear the music. I can actually hear the music going on here, Liz. This
right.
is powerful, yeah.
Yeah. And, it was one of those things. Not only is
Yeah.
he a painter, like he has work hanging in the Guggenheim. Like,
Oh
he's a
my God.
painter.
Wow, that is incredible. And I was actually there recently as well. The Guggenheim is just, I mean, literally
Amazing.
stunning. Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So like, I mean, we became friends, and we're still connected and all, but like,
It's really awesome. Yeah, it's cool.
those kinds of things. Yeah. So I did actually go back to the States, and I did start painting, and I had a first art show and all of this kind of stuff. So
Incredible.
yeah, the stuff is there. It's picking up on it and working with it, and understanding that not everything is logical. Not
Mm,
everything is is the standard way.
yeah.
Anything is possible.
I love that. Anything is possible. It's so true, isn't it? Because I mean, like a lot of people before that I was chatting to, for instance, and certainly like decades ago, the norm was, perceived norm anyway. Certainly, you go into a particular job, maybe career, whatever it is, and you're there for like I don't know, for your life, basically, from whatever age right through. Which most people nowadays, it's like if we're conversing, people are telling me, well, I've done this and I've done this, and it's not necessarily one area. And I'm the same. I've done like a whole 360 at this stage. I'm sure there's more spins around next. And if
Yeah,
you said to me like years ago, it would have been more, oh, I need to be doing this. But sometimes when you're here and to actually go from here to go along, it's not a failure. It's a learning anyway. And you're meant to do something different, instead. And something happens for
absolutely.
you to realize that, doesn't it, eventually?
It does. It does. It does.
Something
And the
comes
thing
in.
is openness, like you're
Yeah,
saying. It's just being open. And
absolutely.
it takes a lot of trust, to be fair.
Yeah, it
And I
does.
think that's something a lot of people don't have.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like even if we're driving, and this is my view of it. I don't know for any of the guy who actually wrote this, but literally, if we're driving along at night, we'll say, and if you don't have the lights on, you're not going to see. You have the lights, and you can see for a certain distance. When you get there, you can see the next stage. So instead of having all the information bombarding us, if you will, it's like we're guided for the first step, and then the next part comes on, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And it's being in flow, right? It's not kind of fighting against the current. It's
Yeah.
being in flow and allowing the
Yes.
fact that, like you're saying, not everything is going to come all at once. It's going to come in pieces, and the
Yes.
next thing will unfold, and the next, and the next. And it's not,
Absolutely.
also you have to believe at some point, or it's important, I think, to
Yeah.
understand time is not linear.
Yes. So true. We think it
You
is in
know,
one sense when we get
we
caught up
think it
here, but
is.
like
We
it's
kind
not.
of need to believe it is,
Yeah.
but it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
it
that's the
is.
thing,
It's
isn't it?
fascinating. Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things that keeps resonating with me at times, and I'll question things, of course, right? But again, it's about trusting. But what's meant for us won't pass us by. All in divine timing. And again, there's another thing that I like to say as well. If something isn't, something is meant for us, but it's not meant for us right now. If it's meant for us later, we will get there once we've the other lessons and learnings and journeying done, isn't it? Like, and
100%. a
yeah,
100%. And
we'll
it is a
question.
co-creation, right?
Yeah, true, isn't it? And you might say, why did this happen? And sometimes you won't know, but other times you look back and you go, ah, okay, that's what led me here, or whatever the case is, isn't it? So
A
true.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's
And how have
huge.
you found, how has that come to you? Like, what in your life has opened in a way that you didn't expect?
So, actually, doing the podcasting was one of the things. So yeah, I might as well share this. I may have mentioned this in passing as well, but literally, I was doing like a mindfulness walk in nature's in gorgeous woods at the time, and I said, okay, I'm going to disconnect from the phone and everything else, and just do that mindful, like be 10 minutes where I'm just. What do I do? I'm connecting into every different sensory motion. So, like, what do I see? For instance, I see the beautiful, the trees. What do I hear? I hear the lovely birds. How do I feel emotionally? Yeah, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling good, or whatever the case is. Hopefully, I think I was feeling good at that time. Do I feel? Can I hear the crunching? Do I feel? How do my feet feel? Be it on the ground, be it in the shoes I'm wearing, that sort of way. So it's really bringing in everything. What do I smell? Is there any nice flowers? Whatever the case is. If I was eating something, what do I taste? So it's just bringing in everything, being right there. So I was out of my head with it, walking along and just thinking, wow, this is beautiful, this is amazing, and letting things sort of flow in. So out of nowhere, this whole thing came in with, do a podcast. And this now was like literally oh my God, it was actually this time last year. It actually came into me and I went, oh, podcast. I have never podcasted. How can I do that? And it just came in and I kind of went, okay. And I sort of dismissed it a bit, being honest. Life got busy, got on the treadmill, metaphorically, literally, I guess, in some way. And yeah, in December, then when things were winding down around Christmas and all that, so after celebrations and all, I thought, yeah, okay. And it came back to me as a thought, and I didn't overthink it this time. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this trailer for it. Say it's launching in this year, 2026, and I wasn't committing to any, specific time, day, number of episodes, and whatever. And I just went, okay, there's no pressure on when I started. Started it in late January with a friend of mine who was involved with Special Olympics. So shout out to Kathleen first, and massive thanks for being the first guest as well. So that was huge. And next minute, I, felt guided actually. So a thought came in to contact Michael, who is mind-bodied, and it's like neurofeedback systems. He was working with a really, really good friend of mine before, and I thought, okay, this is amazing. I'll message him and we'll see. And I was thinking, oh, maybe a month later we might arrange something. 2 months, I wasn't putting a time on it. And Michael literally said to me, I'm available tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. And then since then, I just trusted, and it's like that ripple effect. And yeah, things have organically grown in a positive way. And the whole thing about it was more, with the news that you were saying like earlier as well, Jennifer. I mean, we can't fix things that are miles apart. There's loads of information coming in, but a lot of the mainstream news, it's showing us, what's wrong. But also, there's a lot of positive, a lot of good out there, and people are doing amazing stuff without realizing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what stemmed in. So I trusted it, and the journey's brought me to all of you phenomenal people, which I'm truly grateful for. And people are connecting me to other people as well. So it's just incredible. So
Oh,
yeah,
I love it, and it's great. And what I heard in that mostly was the resonant experience for me, where it kind of I was very present. It came out of nowhere,
yes,
and you trusted
literally,
it to some level. I mean, at first you were sort of like, "What?" But
yeah.
then when the thought came back in, you were like, right, okay,
Let's do it.
and
Yeah.
it is that co-creation. It's the universe will send something through, and you will either pick it up or you won't.
Yeah.
But you did, and look where it's brought you. And I'm
Oh my
sure you're
God.
meeting amazing people.
Absolutely. In such incredible locations. And people are, recommending people. Like, I mean, yourself, you were recommended by the wonderful Michelle, and a shout out
Yes,
to
love
Michelle. And
Michelle.
thank you so much. Oh my God, Michelle's amazing too. And hopefully she'll come on at some stage as well, putting out like planting seeds,
Yes,
when the timing's right. But, so it's just things are organically growing in that way as well. Or people are, messaging me about something, people are willing to meeting other people, or yeah, people are, recommending people. So it's, yeah, just rolling with it. But also it's effortless. It's, as you said, like Jennifer, going with the flow, and that's where the magic is happening, I think, as well.
it is. And
It's
you'll
huge.
find it supported, right? And you're finding
Yes,
it already because one person is leading to another person. And
absolutely.
all of this information is great for people to hear, right? Because
Yes.
this
Oh
is
my God.
people they wouldn't necessarily hear otherwise.
100%. And this is it. And people are like doing amazing stuff, maybe without realizing it. And we all have a positive impact on somebody. We're all truly unique and amazing. I mean, nobody else can be us. We can only be ourselves. And by being our true, authentic selves, we can help
That's
so
the
many
point.
other people. And that is it, isn't it? Instead
That
of,
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
huge.
authenticity is huge. But again, you can't get there
Yeah.
unless you're willing to do kind
The
of the
work.
excavation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but there was a story about someone asked Michelangelo how he created David.
Oh, no, tell me. Yeah.
And basically it was uh, David was always in there. I just took away everything that wasn't David.
Love it.
And
Love
I
it.
do love that because I think that's actually how I find um, the alchemy journey and the client work. We're taking away everything that isn't you,
Yeah.
everything that you've put on, kind of in a false way because you've had to, either protectively or as a coping
Sure.
mechanism for whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And people have to realize they aren't their coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms. That's not
Yeah.
who they are.
No,
That's
it's
just
not the
a
source or essence.
mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's important because a lot of people feel broken. And I always tell everybody, you're not broken. Like
Yeah.
you've survived quite profound, circumstances in your life, and that's amazing.
It's huge,
It
isn't
may
it?
be painful, but
Yeah.
it's amazing. And yeah, you have to believe in people's capacity. And um, a lot of times, I kind of see when people go into certain like talk therapy and stuff, they could be there 10, 15 years,
Hmm.
and I'm like, but that's not helping you.
Yeah. It's a long
Do you know what I
time.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've told the same story over and over and over. And
So
it's
they're
not about
reliving
the
it. Yeah.
story. Yeah. It's not the narrative, right? It's
Yeah.
all about really how do I feel right now? What's
Hmm.
what's here for me?
Yes. Huge.
And what does it mean?
Yeah. That's powerful, isn't it?
It
Because you
is.
said like if we're kind of rehashing the same thing over and over, it's giving it energy still, isn't it? And it's still existing in real time, like right now as well.
It is. And
Yeah.
actually we'll find a lot of it isn't true in the sense not that something didn't happen,
Sure, of
not that,
course.
but again, the meaning we've made of it about ourselves
Yeah.
is what kind of becomes the barrier because we've
Mm.
told ourselves a story that this makes us some kind of something,
Yeah,
and it's not
absolutely.
true. We've just survived a circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's coming to mind for me there as well is, and there might be a name for this, people might know it or whatever, but as you said, like about being broken and things like that, I believe it's in Japan, if there's like something shatters and into like loads of different pieces, they'll put it back together and there'll be little cracks and they honor it. They just, it's kind of this beautiful thing that they've made and out of it, that it's resilient, it stood there. Something we should be doing with ourselves, isn't it?
Well, and yes, and to your point with that, they fill it with gold. They
Oh,
fill the
even better.
cracks with gold, right? Because the
Even
fact of
better.
the matter is, you're healing something, but
Yeah,
you're filling it with the best parts of you. And
yeah,
it's again, everybody has challenges. People have suffered terrible abuses,
of course.
but there is this spirit in people that cannot be, like we said, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's
Yes,
still there, but trying
absolutely.
to find it and bring it forward
Yeah.
is the thing.
The Michelangelo again, the David.
Yeah.
It's
Yes, yes,
powerful.
yes,
I'm absolutely
exactly.
loving that because I'm going to take that with me today as a learning as well. I'm just going, that is incredible. And Jennifer, you've just like in a way been divinely guided to do so much like with the painting. I mean, that was like an aha moment. That was huge, right? I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
And was there any other life changing moments like that you wish to share as well that come to mind or
Oh, there's been a
loads?
fair bit, to be honest.
You're tuned in.
Yeah, I think that the idea is what has been the most life changing thing for me
Yeah.
is learning that if I stay open, if I stay in a space of presence and flow,
Yes.
the things that come in are absolutely amazing. I mean, I've met so many people accidentally who have so many resonating experiences, and it kind of, we become friends and it moves us both forward because I do what I'm what I'm told in some sense. Like, it
I love
seems
this.
funny to say it that way, but
No,
like,
it's true. You're connected in.
exactly, when I first got here, actually, I was walking down the main street and I got this prompt, go in the health shop, and I was like, I don't need anything from the health
Yeah.
shop.
What's
And
going
it
on?
was like, no, go in the health shop. So I did. And I walked in and I literally ran upon someone whose husband had just died,
Oh,
who was
sorry. Yeah.
having a real struggle.
Mm.
And I literally just was in her presence and I could feel the energy of it. And she just kind of, looked at me really sadly and was like, yeah, my husband just passed. And there was just literally a moment where I just asked her if I could give her a hug. And she gave me this giant hug and, was really kind of emotional about it. And by the time she left, she just said, thank you so much. And again, it seems like it's
That's
nothing, but
huge.
it's everything, right? It's like
Yeah,
those kind of moments are just
absolutely.
ones that you just go, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened, but here, it is.
That's mind
And
blowing. Like that.
it
Just
is
giving somebody
her
time and being present and hugs and all that helps your healing.
100%, 100%. And then I have one more little
Yeah.
anecdotal story about how that goes. So when I was in the States still, finishing a program, I was sitting in a cafe and I had a couple books with me, and there was a few people sitting adjacent to me, and I kept getting this prompt to uh, give the gentleman over here the name of the book I was reading, and I
Okay.
was kind of like,
Yeah. A bit skeptical.
yeah, and I was just like, well, it was like this thing of, I don't want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
there's some part of you that sometimes says this seems mental.
Yeah. It's a bit extreme. You're kind of going, I haven't communicated yet. Do I need to?
Yeah,
Whatever. Yeah.
right. And this person's going to be like, but so I waited and I said, look, I'll do a negotiation. I'll write it down on a piece of paper. And
Yeah.
when they leave,
Yeah.
then I'll go up. So the book was Gabor's book, actually. When the
Mm.
Body Says No is what the
Okay.
name of the book was. So I
Right.
wrote it down on a piece of paper. This person was about to get up. So I decided, okay, fine, I'll go over. So I just went up and I said, look, I'm really sorry. I said, but I just kind of got this prompt to give you this book. Uh, Maybe it's something that you could read.
Yeah.
And the guy, it was a middle-aged man,
Yeah.
looked at me and he was like, okay, he's like, can I open it? And I was like, sure. So he opened the folded piece of paper and he stood there for a second and then he looked at me
Yeah.
and then he got like literally emotional, like tears filled
Wow.
his
Okay.
eyes. He said, can I give you a hug? And I said,
Okay. This is powerful.
sure.
Yeah.
Right. So gave him a big hug. And then as he left, I noticed that he had something wrong with his leg, like he was limping severely. And I
Wow.
was like,
Wow.
But those kinds of things, like you learn, there are no mistakes.
Yeah, just trust, isn't it? There's only learnings if anything else, isn't it? Yeah,
Absolutely. And if I don't have a judgment around it, then there's no
yeah.
problem with it. It's
It's
only my
powerful.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like even with other energy healings like Reiki and things like that, it's not us, it's just we're like the vessel, if you will, that things are being, connected through as well like that. So yeah, as you
Yeah,
say,
well,
there's nothing attached.
you said it at the beginning, right? You
Yeah.
said we are a soul having a human experience.
Yes, it's so true, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely, like essence, like the real us, like as you say, like any of us, like that. It's powerful, and
Yeah.
when we do trust, that's where the magic happens. When we, get out of the logical mind, the overthinking, and all the rest of it, and just,
Yeah.
sometimes you go, but I haven't done that before. And next minute, when you're looking back, you go, ah, okay. But at the
Exactly.
time you don't know, and as you say, like just going with it, isn't it? It's where the magic happens. And Jennifer, I'm correct in saying as well, you're the author of a book, isn't that right?
Yes. So during the one of the most difficult times I've ever had in 23, I ended up writing a book about grief. So
Amazing,
it's
yeah.
called Necessary Grief, and it's on Amazon and Audible and
Necessary grief,
Kindle.
yeah. Okay, cool. So
And
check that out.
yeah, it's just about basically using the process of internal family systems and compassionate inquiry, kind of to move ourselves through
Mm,
difficulty. They're
amazing.
powerful pieces. Yes.
It's really good. Honestly, this is like a really good conversation. I'm learning so much, and I've no doubt that people who are either viewing or listening in are like gaining a lot of knowledge as well, and going, "This is incredible." And Jennifer, for people again who wish to learn a bit more, to contact you directly, what are the easiest platforms again to reach out to you on?
Yeah, so probably email me on Gmail.
Sure,
My Gmail is Jen, Alchemist, Alchemist .ire@gmail.com. And then my Instagram handle is at J as in Jennifer, M as in Mary, the number two, Walsh, number one.
perfect.
Um, but that's the way to find me. And I have a Substack, so anybody who wants to go on my Substack is linked on my Instagram. So yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool. And I'll share this as well in the summaries as well, so people can look back and go, okay, what's the actual thing? So to reach out and pay for it, and all that's amazing. And Jennifer, what key points would you like people to take from today's incredible episode?
I really think it just is about us becoming more present to ourselves. And
Okay, cool.
also, the primary thing is to treat ourselves with compassion. We might be very compassionate to other people, but compassion is incomplete if it doesn't include ourselves.
It's powerful.
So yeah, I like to see people being kind to themselves because it really creates a different space and it creates a kinder world.
Yeah, I love that. And it does start directly with ourselves, doesn't it? Anything really
It
does,
does.
and then we can expand. So it's beautiful. Be kind to yourselves, yeah, and compassionate.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is such an incredible message.
Yes. Thank you. And thank you so much for creating the space
Thank
to
you.
allow for us to have the conversations. I
Oh,
really appreciate it.
it's been an absolute honor having you on. And yeah, just outside of that as well, just a little reminder to everybody who is listening in today or viewing as well, wherever you were, whatever time you were viewing or listening in, that you are all truly extraordinary in your own unique way. And until next time, guys, keep it extraordinary. So much love.